Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our English podcast. My name is Jack, and I'm happy you're here. If you want to learn simple, real English, this podcast is for you. Today's topic is History of Dubai. Before we start, please like, subscribe, and share. Now relax, sit comfortably, and let's begin. Chapter 1. The Desert and the Pearl, pre-1800s. 1.1. Life in the Burning Sand. Before the skyscrapers and the luxury cars, Dubai was a quiet and vast desert. For thousands of years, the land was home to nomadic tribes known as the Bedouins. They were tough and resilient people who traveled across the sand dunes with their camels. Life was simple but difficult. They lived in tents made of goat hair and relied on date palms for food. In this early stage, Dubai was just a small fishing and trading village. There were no roads, no electricity, and no air conditioning, only the burning sun and the deep blue sea. Chapter 2. The Gift of the Sea, Pearl Diving. While the desert was harsh, the sea offered a treasure, pearls. For many years, pearl diving was the heartbeat of Dubai's economy. Every summer, men would spend months on wooden boats called dhows. Divers would jump into the deep water with only a nose clip and a stone weight. They risked their lives to find the most beautiful pearls in the world. These pearls were sold to traders from India and Europe. This was Dubai's first connection to the global market. It was the beginning of Dubai's journey as a trade hub. Chapter 2. The Al Maktoum Dynasty, 1833. 2.1. The Great Migration. In the early 19th century, the region we now call the United Arab Emirates was a collection of tribal lands. One of the most powerful tribes was the Bani Yas. Most of them lived in Abu Dhabi, which was the center of power at that time. However, in 1833, a significant event changed the course of history. A young and ambitious leader named Sheikh Maktoum bin Butti led a group of about 800 people away from Abu Dhabi. They traveled along the coast until they reached a natural inlet of the sea, which we now know as the Dubai Creek. This migration was not just a move, it was the birth of Dubai as an independent city-state. 2.2. Establishing the settlement. When the Maktoum family arrived, Dubai was just a small cluster of huts, but they saw something that others didn't: the strategic value of the creek. The creek provided a safe harbor for ships and easy access to the sea for pearl diving. Sheikh Maktoum bin Butti was a wise leader. He realized that for a small community to survive, it needed to be friendly to outsiders. He focused on making Dubai a safe and welcoming place for everyone, whether they were pearl divers, fishermen, or merchants from across the sea. This open-door policy started nearly 200 years ago and is still the secret behind Dubai's success today. 2.3. The Rise of the Dynasty. The word dynasty means a family that rules for many generations. Since 1833, the Al Maktoum family has led Dubai through periods of great wealth and periods of extreme poverty. Each leader of the family added something special to the city. They weren't just kings, they were entrepreneurs. They understood that a desert land had limited resources, so they focused on trade. By the late 1800s, under the leadership of the Al Maktoums, Dubai had already become the most important port on the coast. They invited traders from India and Iran to settle in Dubai, promising them protection and freedom to do business. 2.4. A legacy of vision. What makes the Al Maktoum dynasty unique is their vision. While other leaders in the region were focused on the present, the Al Maktoum rulers were always looking 50 years ahead. They transformed the culture of the desert into a culture of innovation. They taught their people that even though the land was dry, their minds could be fertile. This mindset passed down from Sheikh Maktoum bin Buti to Sheikh Rashid and finally to the current ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. The skyscrapers you see today started as a simple dream in the hearts of a few hundred people who followed their leader into the unknown in 1833. Chapter 3. The Gateway of Trade, Early 1900s. As the 19th century ended, Dubai was ready for a revolution. In 1901, the ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Maktoum bin Hashir, made a decision that changed the fate of the Middle East forever. At that time, many ports in the region charged high taxes on goods, but Sheikh Maktoum did something bold. He declared Dubai a tax-free port. He invited merchants from across the world to bring their goods to Dubai without paying any duties. This was a masterstroke of business. It was the moment Dubai decided to stop being a local village and start being a global gateway. 3.2. The Arrival of the Merchants. The news of no taxes spread like wildfire. Hundreds of merchants from Iran, India, and East Africa began to sail toward the Dubai Creek. They brought with them silk, spices, tea, and gold. The creek became a forest of masts. Hundreds of wooden ships, called dhows, were parked along the water. The area known as Deira became a bustling marketplace. This was the birth of the famous souks, traditional markets, that you can still visit today. Dubai wasn't just selling pearls anymore. It was selling everything the world wanted to buy and sell. 3.3. The City of Gold begins. During this era, Dubai started to earn its nickname, the City of Gold. Indian traders brought gold to Dubai because of its safe and tax-free environment. The gold souk in Deira became world famous. People traveled for weeks just to buy high-quality gold at a fair price. But it wasn't just about the gold. It was about the trust. The merchants knew that in Dubai, the Al Maktoum family protected their business. There were no complex laws or heavy paperwork, just a handshake and a promise. This culture of trust and ease of business remains the foundation of Dubai's economy even in 2026. 3.4. Life along the creek. Imagine walking through Dubai in 1910. The air is filled with the smell of cinnamon, cloves, and salt. You hear the sounds of many different languages: Arabic, Persian, Hindi, and English. People lived in houses made of coral stone or palm leaves. To stay cool in the 45-degree heat, they built wind towers or bargil. These were the world's first natural air conditioners. They caught the breeze and sent cool air down into the rooms. It was a time of hard work, but also a time of great hope. Dubai was proving that even in a desert, you can build an empire if you welcome the world with open arms. Chapter 4. The Great Crisis and the Discovery of Oil, 1930s to 1960s. 4.1. The Death of the Pearl Industry. In the early 1930s, a dark cloud gathered over Dubai. For centuries, the city had lived on pearls. But suddenly, two things happened that crushed the economy. First, the Great Depression hit the world, and people stopped buying luxury items. Second, and more importantly, Japan began producing cultured pearls, pearls grown in farms that were much cheaper than natural ones. Almost overnight, the price of natural pearls fell by 90%. Thousands of divers lost their jobs. Families who were once rich became poor. There was hunger in the streets. This was the Great Crisis, and many thought Dubai would become a ghost town in the desert. 4.2. Surviving the Hard Years. The 1940s and 50s were years of survival. Because of World War II, trade was slow and food was scarce. But even in these hard times, the leadership of Dubai did not give up. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed, who was then the crown prince, looked at the empty sea and the dry sand and made a plan. He realized that if Dubai couldn't sell pearls, it must become a global center for services. He started dredging the creek to allow larger ships to enter. He was preparing the ground for a comeback, even though there was very little money in the bank. Then, in 1966, the miracle happened. After years of searching, engineers finally found oil in the Fateh offshore field. The news spread through the city like lightning. It was a moment of pure joy and relief. The black gold had arrived. This oil meant that Dubai would finally have the money to build schools, hospitals, roads, and a modern city. However, Dubai's oil reserves were much smaller than its neighbors like Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia. This was a critical realization for Sheikh Rashid. He knew that oil was a temporary gift, not a permanent solution. 4.4. Oil as a tool, not a destination. While other countries simply spent their oil money on luxury, Sheikh Rashid had a different vision. He famously said, "My grandfather rode a camel, my father rode a camel, I drive a Mercedes, but my son's son will ride a camel again if we are not careful." He decided to use every dollar from the oil to build infrastructure that would last forever. He built the massive Port Jebel Ali and the Dubai World Trade Center. He wanted to build a city so strong that even when the last drop of oil was gone, Dubai would still be the richest city in the world. This wisdom is the reason why today, less than 1% of Dubai's income comes from oil. Chapter 5. Sheikh Rashid, the architect of modern Dubai. If you look at a photo of Dubai from the 1960s and compare it to today, it feels like magic. But it wasn't magic, it was the vision of one man, Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum. He became the ruler of Dubai in 1958. Even before oil was discovered, he was obsessed with building. He believed that a city is like a body, and infrastructure, roads, ports, and airports are the veins and arteries. He was a humble man who used to walk around the city every morning, talking to ordinary people and checking on construction sites. He didn't just want to rule, he wanted to build. 52. The Gamble of Port Rashid. In the late 1960s, Sheikh Rashid decided to build a massive deep-water port called Port Rashid. At that time, many experts told him it was a mistake. They said, "Dubai is too small for such a big port. You are wasting money." But Sheikh Rashid ignored them. He famously replied, "If we build it, they will come." He was right. As soon as the port opened in 1972, it was flooded with ships. Dubai became the busiest trading hub in the Middle East. This wisdom is the reason why today, less than 1% of Dubai's income comes from oil. 5.3. Bridging the creek and scaling the skies. For centuries, the only way to cross the Dubai Creek was by small wooden boats called abras. Sheikh Rashid knew that to unite the city, he needed a bridge. In 1963, the Al Maktoum Bridge was opened. Then he looked toward the sky. In 1979, he built the Dubai World Trade Center. At 39 stories, it was the tallest building in the Middle East at that time. People laughed and called it the Lonely Tower because it was surrounded by nothing but sand. Today, that same tower is surrounded by hundreds of skyscrapers.
It stands as a symbol of the man who saw a forest of towers where everyone else only saw dust. 5.4. Jebel Ali, the world's largest man-made harbor. Sheikh Rashid's final and greatest project was Jebel Ali Port. He decided to build the world's largest man-made harbor 35 kilometers away from the city center. Again, people thought he was overambitious, but he created a free zone around the port, allowing foreign companies to own 100% of their businesses without paying taxes. This attracted global giants like Sony, Samsung, and Microsoft. Jebel Ali became the engine of Dubai's economy, proving once and for all that Dubai did not need oil to be wealthy. It needed trade, it needed freedom, and it needed a vision. Chapter 6. Reaching for the Sky, 1990s to 2010. 6.1. The Shift to Tourism. By the 1990s, Dubai was already a successful trade hub, but the new leader, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, had an even bigger dream. He wanted the whole world to visit Dubai. He realized that to attract tourists, Dubai needed something the world had never seen before. He didn't just want to build hotels, he wanted to build icons. This was the beginning of an era where Dubai started breaking every world record in existence. The message was clear. In Dubai, the word impossible does not exist. 6.2. Burj Al Arab, the 7-star icon. In 1999, the world stood in silence as the Burj Al Arab was inaugurated. Built on an artificial island, its shape was inspired by the sail of a traditional dhow. It was called the world's only 7-star hotel. With its gold leaf interiors and helipad near the clouds, it became the face of modern Dubai. It told the world that Dubai was no longer a place of camels and tents, but a place of ultimate luxury and futuristic engineering.
6.3. The Palm Jumeirah, engineering the ocean. But Sheikh Mohammed did not stop at the shoreline. He looked at the sea and decided to build more land. In 2001, construction began on the Palm Jumeirah, the world's largest man-made island shaped like a palm tree. Engineers used millions of tons of rock and sand from the bottom of the Persian Gulf. They didn't use steel or concrete for the base, only sand and rock. Today, it is home to thousands of people and luxury hotels. It is so large that it can be seen from space. It proved that Dubai could even change the map of the world. 6.4. Burj Khalifa, touching the heaven. The climax of this era came in 2010. On January 4th, the Burj Khalifa was opened. Standing at 828 meters, it became the tallest building ever constructed by mankind. Building it was a massive challenge. At the top, the wind is so strong and the temperature is so different that the building had to be designed in a Y shape to stay stable. It has 163 floors and can be seen from 95 kilometers away. When the lights of the Burj Khalifa first turned on, it was a signal to the entire planet. Dubai had reached the top of the world. Chapter 7. A global melting pot. Today, Dubai is much more than just a city in the Middle East. It is a global melting pot. Think about this. Nearly 90% of the people living in Dubai were not born there. They have come from over 200 different countries, from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh to the United Kingdom, the Philippines, and the United States. People come to Dubai with different dreams, different languages, and different religions, but they all live together in peace. In a world where there is often conflict, Dubai stands as a beautiful example of how the whole world can live on one small piece of land. 7.2. The Language of Opportunity. In Dubai, you will hear Arabic, the beautiful official language, but you will also hear a symphony of other tongues. English has become the bridge that connects everyone. Whether you are at a high-end office in the DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center, or buying vegetables at a local market, you will see people communicating across cultures. This diversity has created a unique Dubai culture, a mix of traditional Emirati hospitality and modern international lifestyle. Here, you can have an Emirati breakfast, an Indian lunch, and a French dinner, all on the same street. 7.3. Tolerance and harmony. One of the secrets to Dubai's success is its focus on tolerance. The government even has a Ministry of Tolerance. In Dubai, you will find magnificent mosques next to Christian churches, Hindu temples, and Sikh gurdwaras. This respect for all faiths makes everyone feel at home. The Global Village, an annual festival, celebrates this perfectly. It is a place where every country has a pavilion to show their food and culture. It proves that Dubai doesn't just invite your labor, it invites your culture and your soul. 7.4. Safety, the foundation of peace. Why do so many families choose to live in Dubai? The answer is safety. Dubai is consistently ranked as one of the safest cities in the world. A person can walk alone at midnight without any fear. People often leave their car engines running while they go into a shop, knowing no one will touch it. This sense of security is what allows businesses to thrive and children to grow up happily. It is the invisible gold that makes Dubai so attractive to the world's best talents. Chapter 8. The Future, Mars and Beyond. Chapter 8.1. From Sand to Stars. The story of Dubai started in the desert sand, but its future lies among the stars. In 2021, the United Arab Emirates made history by sending the Hope probe to Mars. Dubai is the brain behind the UAE's space program. They are not just looking at Mars from a distance, they have a plan called Mars 2117. Their goal is to build the first human settlement on the Red Planet within the next 100 years. It sounds like a science fiction movie, but if we look at Dubai's history, we know they have a habit of making the impossible possible. Chapter 8.2. The Museum of the Future. If you want to see what is coming next, you only need to look at the Museum of the Future in Dubai. It is considered one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. Unlike other museums that show the past, this one shows what the world will look like in 2071. It explores themes of artificial intelligence, human-robot interaction, and biotechnology. It is a laboratory for new ideas, where the world's best scientists come to solve the problems of tomorrow. For Dubai, the future is not something to wait for, it is something to create. Chapter 8.3. Sustainability and Green Energy. A major part of Dubai's future is sustainability. As the world moves away from oil, Dubai is leading the way in renewable energy. The Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Solar Park is one of the largest in the world. Dubai's vision for 2050 is to produce 75% of its energy from clean sources. They are building sustainable cities where cars are electric and houses are powered entirely by the sun. They want to prove that even a city in one of the hottest deserts can be green and eco-friendly. Chapter 8.4. The Human Vision, 2040. The Dubai 2040 Urban Master Plan is the blueprint for the next 2 decades. The goal is to make Dubai the best city in the world to live in. The plan focuses on doubling the amount of green space, building more parks, and making sure that 55% of the population lives near a public transit station. It is a plan that puts people first. From a small pearl diving village of 800 people to a global metropolis of millions, Dubai's journey is a testament to the power of human willpower and imagination. The Spirit of Dubai. The Journey of 1,000 Miles. We have traveled through time, From the quiet, burning sands of the 1800s to the glittering skyscrapers of 2026, we have seen how a small group of 800 people started a journey that would eventually capture the imagination of the entire world. The history of Dubai is not just a story of buildings, oil, or money. It is a story of human spirit. It tells us that geography is not destiny. Being born in a desert did not stop the people of Dubai from dreaming of oceans and stars. They took the harshest environment on Earth and turned it into an oasis of opportunity. Lessons from the desert. What can we learn from Dubai? We learn that leadership matters. We learn that openness to other cultures makes a nation stronger. But most importantly, we learn that vision is the most powerful resource a human being can have. Sheikh Rashid once said that he wanted to build a city that would last forever. Today, Dubai stands as a monument to that wish. It is a place where the past is respected, the present is celebrated, and the future is already being built. A message to you, the listener. As you practice your English today, remember the story of this city. Just like Dubai, your journey might start small. You might face a crisis where you feel you aren't improving, but if you are consistent, if you have a vision, and if you are open to learning every day, you too can achieve something spectacular. Your mind is your desert. Your hard work is the oil, and your words are the skyscrapers you are building. Keep practicing, keep listening, and never stop dreaming. Thank you for listening. Keep practicing every day. This is Jack. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.